Like, when do we get to telling people how to raise their children? That's the one thing. We can
open their children's minds.
Absolutely.
We don't want their children to grow up one way saying, oh my God, he's gay or she's trans. We can't live that life.
They're using one person to speak for an entire art form, which is impossible. That would be like blaming Janet Jackson for all women in every music industry for her one mishap.
This is Common Courtesy, a conversation on modern society from an LGBTQ plus perspective. A talk show for working LGBTQ plus individuals and allies who are active in their own communities and who also wish to stay woke about what's happening in today's world. With your host, Sean Nicholas.
I'm still sour for not winning this little acting award in high school. I'm still sour.
Angelique Young.
I can't do the caged bird thing. It's not my thing. My symbol is a freaking half mast.
And Ivan Alexander.
Oh, I need to change this. No, you can't change this. Okay? Before Gaga, I was born this way. Okay?
This is Common Courtesy.
That was doomed from the start.
And shit.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Around Sue's or whatever, and
no, that was me.
But that's our stereo.
So let's start the conversation.
Hey guys, and this is Common Courtesy, a conversation on modern society from an LGBTQ plus perspective. I am your host and moderator, Sean Nicholas, aka Desire Some More. And here with me is my awesome co-host. We have nightclub performer and show director, Angelique Young.
Hey everybody, what's up? Super excited for this week. We got some good topics.
Absolutely. So this year, Common Courtesy TV will be the official media sponsor for Come Out St. Pete's third annual Come Out As You Are 2023 Royal Court Talent Competition. Yes, right? So all this month we will be hyping the competition and learning more about the organization and what Come Out St. Pete does for the Bay Area LGBTQ plus community. Now, if you've never heard of this organization, Come Out St. Pete is a Bay Area nonprofit organization, and their mission is to inspire the LGBTQ plus community to live genuinely, raise awareness of LGBTQ plus issues, and to elicit public support from LGBTQ plus allies. Equality is at the forefront of all their events and initiatives, specifically in regard to sexual orientation and gender identity. Hashtag relevant right now. So, joining us today, we are honored to have a local drag performer who is a familiar face in our Bay Area LGBTQ plus nightclub scene and the current Miss Come Out St. Pete 2022 title holder. Please welcome to our panel, Alexis de la Mer.
Happy Tuesday. What's going on, everybody? I'm excited to be here.
Nothing much.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, excited to have you.
Thank you for being here. And excited to have you as well. So let's get this conversation started and why we're here. We're here to talk about the 2023 Come Out As You Are talent competition, and you won last year's competition. So let me ask you this question. So as a current royal title holder, can you tell us a little bit about what this organization means to you and what it means to have this title?
To me, I never came out to my family when I was younger. My family was pretty open-minded. I'm an only child, so my parents were like kind of open-minded, and I kind of just did my thing, and they were just kind of like, okay, well, that's cool, you know. So I didn't really have a coming out then, but it's funny because my mom has always been cool with me being gay. But my mom moved down here last year from New York. She had some issues, and she moved down here. And we ended up buying a house together, but I never told her I did drag. So that was like my official coming out to my mom, telling her that I did drag, and that I'm a performer, and that I raise money for the community, and it was really emotional. So it was weird that my coming out party was at my age right now, 57. Never thought that when my mom would accept it. She's 87, and she like opened, arms for me, and it was really, really cool. So yeah, that was my coming out to her. So but I love kind of
Wow.
because there's a lot of people out there that have questions. It's like they want to go to a gay bar, they want to go to a drag show, but they also want to talk to someone about what we've been through. And I feel like they just can't go to a drag queen that's performing and be like, hi, when you're done performing, can you hang out with me for like 20 minutes so I can tell you my coming out story? So we have safe places where we perform and raise money, and people can come and tell us our stories, and we tell them our stories, and it's a comfortable boundary. And I think we need that now, like one-on-one, because you hear so many horrible stories out there. So we are here for the community. You come to us if you want to sit down and you want to take me to the side and ask me questions. That's what we're here for, to educate the youth. Because I've been out for 40 plus years, so it was a lot different back then. So when they hear the stories, they're like, wow. I'm like, yeah, you guys have it pretty easy now. So it's great that we have this platform now to meet the youth.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I wish you guys were around when I was young, because when I first heard about this organization, I said the same thing. Let me just throw this next question at you. What sort of opportunities did having this title open up since winning?
I got to perform at the St. Pete.
Other than what you just said.
A couple of bookings with St. Pete Pride, and I was in, of course, the parade, which is my favorite thing. I love being in the parade. I just love seeing all the smiling faces and the kids, and it's like it's a whole new world to them. And just being out there more than I am now in different genres of the community, it just makes me smile. And seeing the kids just light up when they see drag queens and people that they feel that we can relate to. And that's really my goal, is just to share my story with them and listen to them, and they're like, wow, that's really cool. And when they walk away with a smile on their face and maybe a little more information in their head, I feel like I did my job.
Absolutely. Wow. I hope you people are ready to feel out there. So last question. Last question before we take a little break, before we get into some hot topics with you. Can you tell us about the Royal Court Talent Competition? Because I hear that this competition not only invites drag kings and queens, but also people, performers, entertainers, comics, musicians, anyone who identifies as LGBTQ+. Can you tell us a little bit about that? And how it's unique? How it's unique versus other pageants. I'm sorry, that's the full question. How is this talent competition unique?
What makes you different?
Yeah, what makes this talent competition more unique than the other pageants that we have in the area?
Rewind to last year, we had categories where it was drag queen, drag king, drag queen, and then non-binary. So that was our kind of our setup for last year. But this year, we want to open it to anybody. Like, it's a pageant, but it's not like, when you think of a pageant, you think of drag queens and evening gowns and stuff, but we're opening it up to anybody. So if you want to be below the Royal Court, I don't care if you are a man or a woman, if you're black, white, transgender, lesbian. If you have a talent, I want you to bring it, and I want you to be part of our Royal Court. So we're looking for kings, queens. If you could do a cartwheel while playing the saxophone and you could bring it, make someone smile on stage, bring it. We're opening to everyone. We don't want people to think, oh, well, they're not going to like me. They're not going to like my type of creativity. No. There's so much art and creativity and entertainment in our community that we want to see it all. Let's all come together, no matter what it is. It's not just about drag shows and drag queens. It's the world is opening up, and let's be one crazy, fabulous show.
One big happy family. Let me go we have 1 minute left. Angelique, do you have a question?
No, not really. I just want to kind of highlight. I've had the pleasure of knowing Alexis for quite some time, and I think that it's awesome that you are a true beacon of the community. You don't hold boundaries, and you're definitely the kind of person who I think is the perfect representative for something in this manner. So I'm very happy that you've held this title for the past year, and I think that it's really cool that you are kind of getting to showcase it a little more, because up until last year, I honestly didn't even know it existed. So hearing about it and getting to see that you guys are even expanding upon what you've already had is really wonderful. So I'm very happy for you, and a job well done to you as well.
Thank you. I've been really, really blessed with so many doors opening for me that I have to give back, because in this community, it's just like when you're blessed with someone, you want to bless other people, and that's what it's all about. That's the way I was raised. So I'm blessed to do what I love to do, and I want everyone around me just to live their own life and their fantasy.
All right, there you have it, guys. So for more information on how to sign up for the talent competition this year, please visit their website at comeoutstpete.org for more information. We'll be right back. GOP leader and Florida Governor Ron DeSantis continues his attacks on the LGBTQ plus community, this time by filing a complaint against a Wynwood area LGBTQ plus restaurant called the R House last week with Florida's Department of Business and Professional Regulations, going as far as to threaten to have their liquor license removed after viral videos showing parents taking their children to attend their drag brunch performances, saying that by this restaurant allowing children to attend those shows is exposing them to lewd behavior. Let's roll the clip.
This is one example of what the state complaint references. It shows a dancer with her breast barely covered, wearing a string bottom, leading a young girl around. And another image shows what looks to be a toddler at a drag show. Now, as for the complaint that was filed on Tuesday, it compares the drag shows at our house to strip club performances, arguing the establishment should have its license removed and be declared a nuisance.
There was a video out of Dallas where they had all these young kids putting money in the underwear of these drag queens at a bar, and that's totally unacceptable. And I said that at the time. Then what happened was, a week or two later, there was video from a place that had similar stuff, and then that was identified as being in Florida. So we said, wait a minute, having kids involved in this is wrong. That is not consistent with our law and policy in the state of Florida, and it is a disturbing trend in our society to try to sexualize these young people.
Okay. So that's what he had to say. So at the center of the Don't Say Gay bill, my question is this: at the center of the Don't Say Gay bill is parental rights. I mean, isn't this that, or does he have any merit to what he's saying? So
I think it's all bullshit, and it's him thriving off the backs of other people's attempts and other people's successes. At the end of the day, nothing that happens at our house is anything less than a PG-13 rating in a television show or movie. I've seen more tits and ass growing up as a 35-year-old woman in television and movies than I did in that clip. And the truth of the matter is they're using one person to speak for an entire art form, which is impossible. That would be like blaming Janet Jackson for all women in every music industry for her one mishap. So no, I don't agree with this. I think that this is bullshit. I think that this is just another attempt to shake up and scare people and bring awareness to something under false pretenses. It's very, very generalized. Even the videos and clips that they showed of the entertainers at our house are fully clothed. The majority are doing and looking in best drag form. And some entertainers do that, but anybody who brings their child to an event like this is fully aware of the language used in the music, the attire worn at the establishment, and the art of performance and the level that it could or could not be. So, and it's a day show. It's not a night show. And to compare us to a strip club is not only offensive, but it's degrading, because at the end of the day, what happens in a strip club, once again, is under the, it's a twofold consent. The women and the men who perform in strip clubs are consenting to dancing and wearing the outfits that they wear. And the people who come in literally pay a cover to get that kind of service. So here in this situation, people know what they're getting into. They're very aware. For those that aren't, it's very clearly on the websites. It's on the Instagrams. Everybody knows what they can expect. There is no mystery here. There's no closed doors, no faded windows. These entertainers are outside in the street. You could go to Miami and find entertainment anywhere on the street. It's not the same. And if that's the case, then they have to ban it on beaches, because women wear less on beaches, and that's natural, born, biological. Women. So I could go on, but
Angelique,
I'm fired up.
We'll go back to you. We'll go back to you.
I think it's complete bullshit because, well, first of all, is he blaming the bar? Because the bar has nothing to do with it. If you're going to be mad at anyone, you should be mad at the parents. But you have no right to be mad at the parents either, because they're opening up their child's mind, so they're not so straight-minded. Now, a drag show to me is like something you would go to Vegas. Like, are you going to be ashamed to take your child to a Vegas showgirl where they're wearing pasties and tassels and stuff? A lot of those women in those drag shows are transgender. They are real women. And that's what you're going to see when you go to Vegas. So are you not allowed to take your child to a Las Vegas show? I mean, what's the difference? He was so worried about saying, oh, my God, they're in thongs and topless. Well, in Europe, the beaches are topless. You're going to see topless women or whatever. Like, the parents are bringing them there because it's fun. Let's be real. And they want to open their children's minds.
Absolutely.
They don't want their children to grow up one way saying, oh, my God, he's gay or she's trans and we can't live that life. No, they could say, hey, I grew up watching that. They're amazing people. They took me under their wing. They kissed me. We took pictures together. They're normal people. What's the point of this? Like, why do you, Ron DeSantis, why do you hate us so much? What did the community do to you? That's what I really, really want to know. Let us live.
Absolutely. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, that's just let us live our lives. We're not hurting anybody. Those kids are not being hurt. Those kids are being brought in by their family. They're having a show and a dinner. Completely. That's all they're doing. And
absolutely. And
it is a day show, so there's probably not a lot of cursing, because I know a lot of drag brunches in town that are family friendly, or just, there's a lot of, it's usually like more comedic, sometimes drag queens or celebrity illusion. So there's not a lot of cursing. But, I mean, you can go on the internet and watch a movie like Angelique said and hear a lot more cursing in a movie than you are in a gay bar during a drag show.
Absolutely. I'm going to jump in here because one thing I wanted to say is when do we get to telling people how to raise their children? That's the one thing, because my thing is when he brought up that this is all veiled homophobia and he's doing this for votes, let's be honest, because you can't really attack the parents. You can't penalize anybody, but the only way to penalize that behavior is to try to go after that business. But what he doesn't know, he inadvertently activated people to go vote, because as someone said that works at that business, not everybody is gay. There are straight people who have families, and a lot of the people who bring their children to those shows are gay. People I knew I was gay for years when I was a kid, like maybe before around 8 years old. I knew I was gay. Something was different. If I had that type of exposure, to show that there is a future in my life, that it isn't just me being, beat up and hung somewhere because of who I am, that would have made a lot more difference in what I thought about myself, how I viewed myself growing up. And another thing, lewd behavior. I mean, I didn't see any of that, because most of those drag queens are wearing body suits, so they're not. Most of them are not nude. I mean, I've done drag. All of us have done drag, so I don't know what he's talking about. Shut up. Go to the show. Because these are your constituents. There's this trans congresswoman. I can't remember her name at the moment, but when the person that she ran against, after she won, still spoke out against her, she was like, you know what? I have nothing to say about him, because at the end of the day, he is going to be one of my constituents. So for Ron DeSantis to feel so gallivanty, so okay with attacking his own constituents, there's a problem with that. And people should go out and vote, because like right now he doesn't have my vote.
Just to close on it, as somebody who runs a brunch, a drag brunch on a Sunday at that, who has children come to my brunch, who actually opens up my stage to child entertainers. I've had children come in and they perform. They get to dance on stage. They get to entertain my crowd. They get to be a part of it. They get to enjoy the entire festivities, and they do it with their parents hand in hand. And we don't have excessive nudity at my show. We don't have excessive language at my show when there's children in the building. Literally, we are so respectful, not only to the children, but we're respectful to the parents and the way that they run their parenting. It's not about money for us. It's not about changing children's minds. It's about showing them different art forms. But just to touch on this, the difference between what we do in these drag brunches and what everybody else does is that we are a private event. And to showcase some other ideas and some other things that I wrote down literally in the time it took the two of you to talk, public places that people can go and see nudity and or see people in a thong and bra or pasties or whatever, a beach, a pool, car shows, television, movies, Walmart, magazine ads, newspapers, art galleries, statues, and video games. There's more nudity seen in cartoons, video games, and movies than there is in anything else. And that is like full on nudity. And children have access to this. And I don't see any war on video games. I don't see any war on television. So go ahead and go into your public places and do it where it's not. But we have a private event, and people know when they come in what to expect. It's listed at the door.
I feel like Ron DeSantis now is like just finding out about all this drag stuff. I mean, there's a meme on Facebook now going around about Bugs Bunny doing drag, and movies like Mrs. Doubtfire and Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, and Tu Wong Fu. So are you not going to let your children watch them?
Tootsie.
You're going to come for these movie companies now saying, oh, well, we can't do any movies with drag queens or trans in it. So, like, where does it stop? Does it ever stop? I mean, come on.
I don't think it is, because you know what? Because we're about to go. It doesn't, because I studied film, and the government has had a hand in film for years. If you ever heard of the 1950s Hays Code, they got pissed off about what women were wearing on television if they were showing too much clothing. That's why in I Love Lucy they were sleeping in separate beds, because they were afraid of what they were showing on television. So it probably will not stop here. There is more coming up, and we'll just have to wait and see. But please go out there and vote to make sure that this person is not only he's not going to be the president or our governor.
Oh,
we'll be right back.
Oh my God, no.
And also, before we go, just kind of want to play a little bit of a tribute to the original Star Trek actress who played Lieutenant Uhura, Nichelle Nichols. She just died this weekend at the age of 89. And I just want to say the legacy that she left behind by staying on that show versus, going against, the adversity that she faced, because she wanted to leave the show because she wasn't really doing a lot of the scenes when they were going on the adventures. You know how they beamed down? She was kind of pissed off about that. She was always on the ship. And Martin Luther King, told her, you should stay because the visibility of you being on television playing that role is doing a lot for us. And the fact that she did stay, she did start doing those scenes that she really wanted to do. But also as well, it inspired a lot of other actors like Whoopi Goldberg to become an actress, and she was even in Star Trek. And said earlier, I watched Star Trek because Whoopi was in it, and because I saw her in Ghost, because I was like, yeah, you in danger, girl, and then.
That's, the impact of seeing representation matters 1,000%. And I think that having her in the original was key for me in wanting to pursue my dreams for theater. I think it was important to see her. I've seen Whoopi. I've seen a lot of low key, those old shows, Good Times. Just watching Black faces constantly, growing up into seeing them in comedies and sitcoms, but to see them in sci-fi and to see them in that way, we rarely ever had the opportunity. So definitely she is a huge milestone for us.
Groundbreaking.
Right up there with Cicely Tyson, yeah.
It opens a lot of doors for a lot of people, so it's a good thing. It very is. And may she rest in peace.
Yes. And we are back, folks. Okay, let's get into this last topic really fast. So, Come Out St. Pete is an organization that advocates for causes and issues close to LGBTQ plus youth. And one of those issues that our youth face is bullying. A 2021 study done by the Trevor Project shows that the majority of LGBTQ plus youth, about 52%, who were enrolled in middle school or high school, reported to being bullied either in person or electronically in the past year. 1 in 3, about 33%, reported being bullied in person, while 42% were bullied electronically. Now, bullying was reported more often in middle school compared to was in high school, about a 65% to a 49% ratio. So, since this is a Come Out St. Pete episode, I wanted to talk to you guys and ask you, how did bullying affect your come out story, and did it affect your coming out process?
I was bullied all through school just because I was different. I didn't even know what gay was. I just felt different. I just held it in because I didn't know what else to do. I'm not really a fighter. I'm not like a mean person like that. So I just kept it in, and I guess that's why I never came out to my parents. Maybe because I maybe was too scared to come out, because I know that's a lot of issues with the community today. The youth, they're afraid to come out because so many parents, disown them. So it didn't really have an effect on me so much. But once I came out of the closet. No, it was like, I'm here, bitch. So, but I feel for the younger generation because it's hard for them. So that's another reason that we have Come Out St. Pete tea dances and little parties, so people can come and talk to us and stuff, and know that you're not the only one. I came out 40 years ago. It was around then, so it's not going to go around. So you need to be thick skin and just learn from the elders about how to be tough.
I really honestly had I had the movie experience when it came to coming out. I had a really great experience on all levels. I think when I was in 9th grade and I was a little undecided about who and what I would be, and I was having a lot of issues with my health and weight, I was bullied for being fat, not bullied for being gay. I had a couple of instances where somebody might have called me a lesbian, or they might have thought I was a woman, but I was a very effeminate 4'11" little person. So I had very nice features. I didn't grow facial hair. It was a thing. It was what it was. But when I got into high school and I started to really express myself, and I did the stereotypical thing. I came out as bisexual first. I didn't really have too many bad experiences. I had one time where somebody did a little thing where they set me up and made me think somebody liked me or whatever, but that was the extent of it. It was never a hazing. I never got it never continued beyond that. And then right. When I came out in junior year, I was just full on gay. I actually was praised for it. I was one of 4 in my entire school who was opening out. I was in sports. I don't know if maybe that helped because I did swimming and cheerleading, and being a part of the sports community changed how people reacted to me. Nobody was upset to be around me or thought I was trying to get in their pants or anything. People didn't think like that where I came from. It was very much just my personality and who I was. I also was technically in a relationship, so I don't think people were worried about me. So I had a really great experience. I was the first person to ever go to prom with a male partner. I was the first person to break a lot of things.
So bullying didn't really affect your coming out story, is what you're saying?
Not in the slightest. Not even from if anything, I experienced more bullying at home from my older brothers. But when I came out, it actually stopped immediately. It didn't go further than that. Before I admitted that's who I was.
Let's talk about that, because that's even though it wasn't a part of someone, your family bullying is a part of your coming out story.
I mean, but I think that's kind of I had 3 older brothers, and they were very much in a different space, and I was effeminate. I could cook and clean, and I did all the things that they never did. I didn't have any interest in their things, and I think that the teasing of someone being gay was like more of a, I don't know, to me it felt like a what do they call it? Like a trial by fire, like a honor thing. Like it's kind of like, you get the little pokes and prods and people are like, oh, you're gay or whatever. But I had no idea what that meant. My mom was very good about it. Like I had other people in my life who were gay and they were cool to me, like my aunts and things like that. And other people that I had met, I never met any gay men at that point, but gay women were fucking awesome to me. Like I love gay women. I had a lot of them. So once again, I never saw it as a bad thing. Like nothing that anyone ever said to me gave me inner turmoil. It was more of a world fear when I came out, being like, oh, I'm scared of what the world is going to think of me. I didn't care. Like, it wasn't a thought that my family was going to not like me. Like, I wasn't afraid of being turned down or anything like that. I didn't have a bad experience.
That's really good because, like, honestly, like, that was not my experience growing up because we're not that far in age. I graduated in 2006, and honestly, it was like reading the study for me almost brought me to tears because it was middle school where it was literally the worst. Every day I was in the locker room because I grew up in the South. And it was either the locker room where I was harassed. And even like the coaches, they wouldn't really say anything because it's almost like allowed that type of behavior towards someone, it was okay. And honestly, it was bullshit. I was bullied by some of the people in my family, some of the older girls. I no longer talk to one of my cousins really anymore because we had a conversation over gay marriage a couple of years ago. And I was like, wait, hold on. Didn't you have some issues, But that's not here. But bullying really affected my coming out story because, it was like that fear, like that once I'm gay, they're going to come kick my ass. But then I thought about it. They're already kicking my ass now. So so it doesn't really, but it still had that fear because in the Black community, we're very much into the church and everyone's always talking about, sins and things like that. But as I, growing up, so that really affected me and how I viewed myself, thinking that like, I'm never going to be a great actor because I'm gay. I'm never going to find that role, and even in like, there's microaggressions in acting, can you act straight? Can you even act, bitch? That's the actual question. Because like a lot of those people that would ask me that question aren't doing anything in the arts. And the one thing that would always scare me was when people would ask me that dreaded question, are you gay? I would like, oh my God. And it would shatter my like, entire psyche, so every day I would like have like, I used to walk with like a hunch in my shoulder because I was protecting myself all the time. Bullying played a very large part in how I viewed the world because when it was coming from other people that looked like me, it wasn't really white people. It was people that looked like me, Black people. And it was fucked up and it was coming from my family. So, I mean, I've had conversations about that before and I'm glad that we have an organization like Come Out St. Pete to give people more education. And this is why I do this show because I don't live this crazy lifestyle that everyone fucking thinks. I put my pants on the same way ever since I was a kid, the way that you do, and to make me feel like I was worthless. How the fuck are these people going to church? Sometimes I'm going to heaven. Mm-mm. If God is judging us, I don't think any God would be okay with the actions that people took because I'll really fast before I go, it almost made me a bully growing up because there's one thing about being tough, but then there's one thing about being a complete asshole because of how you were affected because you're afraid that they're already talking shit about you. Like I became almost a bully in my life and that's where the drinking started because I would think about what these people said to me. So we are out of time. If anybody, Alexis, I'm going to give you just a minute. Do you want to throw anything else before we go?
If you guys are interested about our talent contest, please check us out on the website, comeoutstpete.org. It will be September 11th. And if anyone's doing anything this Sunday, if you have no plans this Sunday, we do our monthly key dance at the garage. So if you want to come out and tell me a story, you're more than welcome to. And I want to say thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
All right, guys. Like I always say, until next week, try to have a little bit more common courtesy. We'll see you again.
Bye.
Follow our podcast page, Common Courtesy TV, here on Facebook and YouTube for more conversations on love, sex, relationships, and commentary on the latest trending news.
And listen to us on multiple podcast platforms via commoncourtesytv.buzzsprout.com.